Welcome to this episode of Coastlines to Cranes. This is your construction industry podcast from the coast to the towering cranes, talking about the people, the culture, the construction industry, and what makes us real. Today, joining us on our episode is my good friend, Tanita, and she is the owner and founder of Tenacious Digital Marketing. She has helped ABC San Diego make a tremendous impact on their social media marketing. And here today, she's here to talk to us about how you can also improve your social media marketing game. So welcome, Tanita.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
What a nice welcome.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
fun to be here.
It's so fun to be here. I usually see you in the Zoom room when we're talking about our marketing meetings. But, you know, like I said in your intro, that you've had such a tremendous impact on our social media that I wanted to invite you on the podcast to talk about it with others, the listeners who could also potentially up their game in this new world of social media. And it's funny because I'm of the generation that, you know, I thought social media was going to be a fad. I kept waiting for, you know, it to go away. And I realized it's not going away. I really have to embrace it. And you've really helped me see that benefit of getting involved on social media. And I still have some work to do, but you really brought me along. But it's not about me. I want to talk about you, Tanita. Like,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about how you founded your business and how you got here.
Yeah, no, that's so good to hear about how much
Yeah.
you guys are enjoying being on social
Yeah.
media. I feel like for any business, it's a little bit of a, pull the Band-Aid off
Right.
and get on there. But yeah, I kind of just from the very beginning, right after college, kind of stumbled upon it. I started contracting right away. And I feel like contracting is like around the corner
Mm-hmm.
from an LLC.
Right.
So I did that for a few years and I said, you know what? I think I want to niche down into digital specifically. I was just really enjoying social media. It has a lot of like psychological, sociological factors that businesses need to pay attention to. And it was just, I kept finding myself building strategies, learning more. And through the years, this was in 2015. Right through the years as everything progressed with YouTube and
Right.
people started monetizing existing online.
So much since 215, like
Exactly.
2015, I should say. Like, it's just grown
It's so
exponentially.
much. And
I kept thinking it's going to go away.
Yeah,
It's ramped up. You know?
exactly. It was just so interesting that I just gravitated towards it. And I feel like I'm an early adapter. You know, we've got Googles all over the house. Like
Right.
to me, it was just natural, like to step into
Right.
being in the digital space.
Yes. And that's fantastic. And we were introduced through a common friend, Lisa, from Great Monkey Group. And I think she found you through Hera Hub or some of your association stuff, which we'll talk about in a minute. But one of the things I wanted to target right away was, what are the misperceptions or the things that businesses don't truly understand about digital social marketing? Like, what's the myth out there about it?
Yeah.
Help us understand.
The most common question I get is how many times should I be posting on Facebook and LinkedIn?
Okay.
And I always ask, why Facebook and LinkedIn? Like why are you choosing these platforms? People don't realize that social media is significantly broader. Yelp, Angie's List, right? Like these are all social platforms. Anywhere where you have the access and sharing of free information is a social platform. And you kind of have to view it as like store window fronts. Maybe not a door because you're not selling directly, but it is a window into your business. And setting up these windows at these specific platforms where your target audience is moving through to find information, right?
Right.
It doesn't have to be Facebook or LinkedIn.
Interesting.
It could be so many other places, and it's so nuanced to a business's operations. It's not just I got to make dance videos on TikTok, because virality doesn't always equate to profit. And it's important to be online, but how are you online? Why are you on these platforms? Really helps with understanding like why are we posting what we're posting? Why are we sharing this content? Because you're thinking about like where people are navigating. We just buy so differently now with social media. It's essentially word of mouth. So it's like where we go to explore, and you want to be able to be in different spots. You don't have to lock yourself in to the big five. that we all know.
There we go. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's interesting you talk about virality does not necessarily equate to dollars
Yeah.
or a business strategy. I had to laugh because we've talked about getting into the TikTok space. We're looking at it and probably going to leap in there here,
Yeah.
but one of our apprentices was online. I pointed that out to you. I learned a couple weeks ago 14 million views on
Yeah.
TikTok for a construction dance that he did.
Exactly.
But he's still an apprentice in our program. He hasn't quite hit Hollywood yet,
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily equate to dollars, but yeah, so there's a lot of nuances to social media, trying to
Yeah.
understand it. I think one of the great things that you've been really good with us is helping direct us on the theme or discussion that we want to
Mhm.
engage in online and that sort of thing. So I guess that brings me to my next question, which is, small, mid-sized contractors or business owners,
Mhm.
what advice would you give them or how would you direct them? A lot of times I hear, no, social media is not for me. I don't want to get involved. Not my jam. Like
Yeah.
we already do enough in construction. We don't need social media. And then you also have like a bunch of tin hat people who are
Mhm.
like, they're tracing my every step. I don't want to put my footprint out there.
Uh,
So give us some guidance on what would you recommend for somebody to
yeah.
even start?
Yeah, I think for any business that's interested in getting online and creating these digital touch points, would be, well, I have something they could do tomorrow, and then I have something that they can do in a month, not necessarily next week, but something you could do tomorrow is if you already have existing accounts, uh, go unify your sales flow, make sure your logo looks good. I feel like a lot of people, when they set up their Facebook account or something for a business page, they'll go through everything quickly. Take the time, go through the categories and make sure it's set up correctly because that's how people find you. So, making sure that your bio, your links, everything is clean, it's on brand, that's something you could do very easily tomorrow. Now, something you could do next month, and this is a little bit more of like that bigger bite, would be to get somebody to set up a strategic plan. So you know why you're posting on these platforms, because your operations and your social strategy should relatively be balanced. It shouldn't be overwhelming, especially for an organic strategy, right? You want to know, why are we going into these accounts and updating them versus wasting time on these other ones, right? I have actually a really relevant story.
Yeah.
Our pipes started leaking at the end of November. And of course, this happens on Monday morning
Right.
at 6 a.m. The chaos ensues. Nobody know. I'm like, I got to find a plumber right now. We have to find somebody to
You're
come in.
approaching the holidays. It's November,
I know. I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
how we're going to get through this,
Right.
but this has to happen now. And I'm like, go look on the neighborhood app. You can
Oh,
create a company page on there. Right? So
right.
wouldn't it be nice if I had somebody, I'm like, if I could pull up the company page and they say if we're within 10 miles, somebody will come out there,
Right.
in the next 2 hours. And then it gives me access to other points that I'm trying to collect as a consumer. I want to read some reviews. I want to see some pictures. I want to gather that information. So it's like really thinking about your social strategy beyond the big social platforms that we all know and love,
Interesting.
and thinking about how can I create a social strategy that is in balance with my operations. Yeah.
So what happened with the plumber?
They came in right away
Did you
2
find
hours
him
later.
from the neighborhood
I
app?
did.
Yeah.
We found somebody local and I was like, "Okay, great." They came right in. They fixed it. It took all day. The poor
Yeah.
guy was there the whole
Right.
day.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was great. It was useful. Now we're filling the holes.
Right.
Different purchase process, right? So that would be advice for a different company.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. So, that's something that I'm just learning from this conversation right here, that there's different modalities by which you can be on social media, that you can approach your audience that aren't necessarily, like you're saying, the big five or that are really consuming. So, okay, the next question is, I'm interested. I'm a small mid-sized contractor. I'm listening to this podcast. How do I find you? Or like, let's say I want to start a conversation with Tanita or Tenacious Digital Marketing. Where do I find you? How do I find out like what would it be involved to have you help me with my company?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me online, tenaciousmktg.com, or
Okay.
Tenacious Digital Marketing on Instagram, LinkedIn, those are like the big, business to business type of platforms.
Right.
And I don't update my content regularly,
Right.
but I do have that digital touch point. So people can find me, send me a message. I'll
Great.
look at the DM. I'll get back to you. We'll
There you
set
go.
something up.
That's so funny because I was at an event last night and I was trying to connect two kids that are going to be in New York at the same time. And the mom said, just have them link into each other. And I was like, oh, that's right. That we could do that, right?
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
same for our listeners. Hey, look Tanita up on LinkedIn, send her
Yes.
a DM. She'll get back to you. Yeah, I wanted to touch on one last thing before
Hmm.
we wrap up the episode. Actually, two things
Hmm.
that I wanted to share with the listeners. One is that something that's near and dear to you is the Hera Hub.
Hmm.
I know a little bit about it, but share for the listeners what this is
Yeah.
and it's your passion project and a little bit more of your community outreach.
Yeah, no, Hera Hub. So Hera Hub is women owned. It's kind of like a women forward networking
Very
space.
cool.
So it's a lot of entrepreneurs and getting together with women that are starting their own businesses in all sorts of facets.
Right.
And it was a community that I stumbled upon 2, 3 years ago now. They've been wonderful. They have so many free online webinars, and I offer guru hours, which is essentially for 2 hours out of the month. I show up there and people can sign up and I'll give like consultation. So
Wow.
I'll give you, what's the problem? What are you trying to do right now? And it's something that I offer to the members as a member there as
Nice.
well. So
Yeah.
it's been really amazing. I got to meet Lisa, as you mentioned.
Right.
I know she was on an earlier podcast
Yeah.
before we got the screens out here.
Right.
But like I got to meet her and it's been
She was
really
one of the
yeah,
groundbreaking
she was
podcasts.
when it was just audio. So it's been no,
That
it's
was
been
so long ago
fantastic.
when we were just audio, you know?
That's what it feels like. The evolution of social media.
Right. And then it
Yeah.
was, us starting in our office, and that was back when we were just sitting at my desk. But yeah, so that's how you guys met. And I mean, so with
Yeah.
Hera Hub, is it a membership organization? Is it something that, we can join? Like if I'm a women-owned business out there, how does that work?
Yeah,
Is it
you can come and join. It's
okay?
owned by Felina. If you just look up
Okay.
Hair Hub online, there's so many resources, and
Great.
they're fantastic. They actually went to they had a retreat where we went to Portugal last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for a
Oh,
week.
that's quite a
I know.
retreat.
So if anybody's interested in Hair
Yeah.
Hub, come to, they
Sounds
have
like I want to look up
I
the
know.
next retreat.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
they're very, very helpful. The resources are phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to mention is that I know that you are a military spouse,
Oh yeah.
and so your husband was in the Navy,
Yeah.
right? Talk a little bit about your, adventures in being married to somebody that's been,
Oh, definitely.
serving our country.
It's very San Diego.
It
That's why
is very
it's
San
very San
Diego, yeah.
Diego. That's why we ended up in San Diego. So we're both
Okay.
from Seattle.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah.
that. Go Seahawks!
Yeah,
Were
go
you a
Seahawks. Exactly. Yeah, you win it football games.
right?
But yeah, Seattle, we moved here 2015. He commissioned. They stationed him here and I've lucked out. We've been here his entire active duty.
Wow.
He has been
Yeah.
not
Right.
necessarily here, but it really gave me the ability to kind of like set roots and start the business. So we've
Right.
been here 10, 11 years. And it was after the first or second year, my mom
Yeah.
back in Seattle was like, "Oh, both the families are here. You're gonna come back." And I
Yeah.
was like, "No,
I know.
no, no,
I was
no.
just gonna ask you.
The sun doesn't fade here.
Yeah.
It's different."
Right. I was gonna ask you, are you gonna go back to Seattle? And you're like,
No,
no.
no.
The sun's beautiful, and I
It's
know it's
so
although
yeah.
not today, right? It's a little
Nah,
bit, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We need a little rain,
We do.
right?
We'll have a little rain,
But
but
yeah.
well, that's interesting, and I just wanted to applaud you as a military spouse. I know that you've also given lots of sacrifices and been very supportive. So, in the grander scheme of life, thank you, Tanita, for
Oh, that's
your
so sweet.
service to our country.
Thank you.
I know it's not taken lightly, and you do definitely, the military spouses are a big portion of
It's
our success.
it is.
So thank you for that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, that's all new things that I learned about you this episode. It was great sitting down and chatting. I wish we had a bottle of wine to share.
Yeah, no, this is so fun.
Next time, right?
Exactly.
Well, wonderful. So I guess we'll wrap it up here. For those of you who want to get in touch with Tanita, like she said, look her up on LinkedIn, give her a DM. She's done tremendous things for our social media presence. I can tell you, we just went over the analytics and we have doubled in a number of categories. So when you're looking at really upping your game in social media, definitely give Tenacious Digital Marketing a look up. All right, San Diego, that's it for this episode of Coastlines to Cranes. If you liked us, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, hit subscribe, and you know what to do. Stay classy, San Diego.